Loot generosity is one thing everyone admires about Borderlands. The money shot of colors that comes out of your enemy's orifices when you give them a good pounding feels absolutely great. Gearbox, the creators of Pizza Hut, the soda machines at Burger King with 2,000 different flavor options, and this little cute thing, have taught us that seeing a blue, purple, or orange small beam of light on the ground in the distance basically means stop what you're doing, even if all your friends are dying and they hate you for being a loot goblin, but hey, what can you do? I have an addiction, it's not my fucking fault, and go grab that bad boy. They make killing bosses rewarding, always giving you a newer and better arsenal than what you currently have. Now, it's time for the true test of strength to see how the game would be if everything I said above didn't matter. Today we are going to answer a question no sane person has ever asked. Can you beat Borderlands 2 with only white gear and no skill points? Nobody has ever asked that question because surely playing Borderlands like that is equivalent to eating a nipple salad without dressing, but hold my turds, men, because I am going in harder than I ever have. Let's throw down some rules, you dirty little dogs, you. Rule 1, no other gear than white gear. I can pick up gear to sell it, but I can only ever have white gear equipped. Doesn't matter what level it is. Rule 2, no skill points whatsoever. Now that the rules have been set, let's get to our scheduled broadcast. You guys get it? That's right, boys. On this show, we have jokes. Good Borderlands jokes. Bad Borderlands jokes. Woo! With skill points and my action skill rendered completely useless this run, picking my character didn't really matter. I mean, sure, I could pick the cute one with the blue hair, and after picking Zero, which is absolutely necessary this run, I named him after a great man that knows no boundaries and awoke in a winter tundra. I was ready to take on the world and pound some booty. I followed a sweet little robot and was probably the only person to ever die in Claptrap's house. I pushed forward with my level 1 white gear and pounded in Knuckle Dragger's butt cheeks. I handled that shit like a piece of dough ready to be proved. I knew that the beginning of this run was going to be relatively easy, so we'll call this first part of the playthrough the beginning of the run that's going to be relative. Okay, I have no idea where I'm going with that. I met with Sir Hammerlock, and yes, he still makes my nipples rock hard, and continue to slap some naughty boys with my sick no-scoping skills. We got Claptrap his eye, and I enjoyed finally being able to use a gun compared to my last run. I pushed forward, hitting side quests along the way, and boosting my ego even further than it already was, because I was pooping on the baddies. Before we continue on even further though, let's discuss the plan this run, and how we are going to make it through the game with only white gear and no skill points. It's time for Operation Donkle Daddy, aka my Xbox gamer tag. Quickscoping and sniping this run was going to have to be my forte. I needed to channel my inner 2009 and whip out the MW2 quickscopes. I know you remember the days when the only way to settle whether XXP and butt coffee XX actually fucked your mom and kissed your dad was with the 1v1 on the map Rust. I needed to hit that level of Chad. Snipers are going to be the big damage dealer this run. Not only is the damage on a sniper, but I can also shoot enemies from a distance. After watching and analyzing 1v1 quickscope only matches on Rust for hours straight, I finally perfected the craft and equation to a great quickscope in Borderlands. This was necessary for this run to succeed. I was also going to have to buy new gear from the gun vending machine every couple of levels in order to keep up with the damage. Now that the plan has been set, let's get back to work, you donkle daddies. I got to my nemesis Midgemong, and you know, I still shudder in remembrance of my last encounter with him, but then I realized that I had a sniper and proceeded to eat his booty up like an extra large pizza.
Oh, yes, baby. Stand right there. Yes. Yeah. This is beautiful. Oh.
Seeing those skills ranking up in the left-hand corner of the screen really had me hurting, but your boy needed to overcome. It was time to take Claptrap to face his bully, Captain Flint. So I pounded in a few enemies and pushed forward to boom and boom. I easily mopped the floor with these mini bosses thanks to my sick sniping skills, and eventually after some more killing, got to our main man Flint. This fight with this naughty boner proved to be quite easy. It took me a try or two, but just like SpongeBob in Infinity War, I fisted his face with a couple of sniper bullets and called it a day. I got Claptrap to his baby and set off to Sanctuary. This run, I will allow myself to use weapons on my vehicle, only because it isn't actually an item that you can equip. I found out Sanctuary had an empty tummy, so I went off to search for a battery and filled that sexy boy up. Sanctuary was now back on its feet and rolling. It really meant a lot to my boners that they congratulated me for all the hard work I did with a few of my favorite things ever. Side quest. Side quest? More like bad quests. That's right, boys. On this show, we have RPG jokes. Good RPG jokes. Bad RPG jokes. Woo! After a couple of boner farts later and literally realizing that this run wasn't going to be fun.
Oh my god. Please don't fuck me. Please don't fuck. Alright, he's not gonna. No! Oh, shit! Fuck! No! He won't. Come on. Shit, man.
I have no idea how I'm going to do this when I'm getting two-shotted by a badass psycho and the AI in this game have a bigger brain than Jimmy Neutron. But eventually, I got to a higher level and it was time to go save the firehawk. This was definitely going to be hard. I've heard stories that the big bad firehawk was a super cute boy. The type of boy that would take you to prom, teach you how to drive, read. His name rhymed with Sir Shammer. It's just Lilith, man. Come on! Lilith and I pounded in some booty holes and I actually enjoyed myself for once. I truly wished that this moment would never end. Now that Lilith had been saved, it was time to go round up a few more side quests to save Roland. Everything was going well so far. It just sucked not having an ultimate and getting my shields depleted every 2 seconds, but I knew I could make it. During my side quest spree, I met the woman of my dreams. My nipples haven't been this erect in years.
God damn.
Senza, what are you doing?
Nothing.
I finished up my quests and actually enjoyed doing them for once, you know, because I could finally use a gun and play the game the correct way. Of course, I only had a pea shooter, but hey, you know, that's better. That's better. The story could finally be progressed and it was time to bring pain upon the sinners that took my chocolate hurricane, Roland. I had a new arsenal of weapons from the vending machine and enjoyed bringing carnage to these men. Roland hit category 5 and popped off at the very end, hitting him with that chocolate hurricane special. God, that is so fucking...
Yes! Oh my god, that's fucking awesome. Oh my god.
They took him even further into the compound, but unfortunately for them, little did they know that I have an arsenal of Pandora's most deadliest white weapons at my disposal, ready to use them as a bunch of sex toys, and I'm gonna get fucking demonetized. I should really shut the hell up now. I made it to the end and made use of this pipsqueak like the high school whore, and then Roland and I proceeded to spit roast the rest of the robo-turds. Everyone thanked me for bringing back Chocolate Hurricane and life was good. It was now time to head off and meet up with Tina so we can blow up a train. But before I could do that, it was time for a little segment I like to call Side Quest. I bet you nerds have no idea what this part is about. After all that meat tenderizing was done, everything was going according to plan. The white items that I had been buying have been able to help me get through this easier than it is to get through high school without ever having a girlfriend, even though that never happened to me, so I wouldn't know. Yeah, I thought that the difficulty would have caught up to me by now, but so far it wasn't too bad. I met with Tina, gave her tea party she wanted, and then it was time to take on the big bad scary Wilhelm. Before we get any further, I just want to let you know that this shit sucked some seriously fucking smelly asshole. Like I'm talking festering shit hasn't been wiped for days type of asshole. Killing Wilhelm literally took me 3 damn hours. I even had to go back to Sanctuary and get better guns because of how horrific it was. After being pounded around, I was done being Wilhelm's slave though. I developed a tactic to sit at the back of this cavern thing, but that still barely helped. A monkey flinging his own feces was more effective than this white sniper rifle. Eventually though, I was able to pull through. Being the Brad Pitt of gaming isn't easy, but with my mental gymnastics, I was finally able to kill Wilhelm. If this was just the beginning, then dear God bless my soul. I grabbed Wilhelm's weenie and again put it inside Sanctuary without her consent. Angel and Jack ended up betraying us, and then Lilith lifted up Sanctuary and did some sort of teleportation jutsu to another side of Pandora. In no time, I had no problem dick flipping into action and getting back to the homies. I pushed forward and I started to see a little bit of aging in the weapons I had, because I was literally doing dog doo-doo damage. It took a while and a lot of raging, but eventually I re-established connection with Sanctuary and 3D teleported my way back to the homies. Jack had taken Mordecai's bloodwing and I was just the perfect person for the job to get that cute little thing back to safety. But first, it was time for some side quest. And no, not normal side quests. I'm talking bad quest. That's right, boys. On this show, after catching up in levels, it was time to raid the preservation. And you know what that meant, boys? It was time for a heist. Operation Save Bloodwing was going to be simple, boys. I just had to make it to the compound without dying, make sure not to die, and make sure not to die to the super badass loader, or die to the skags, or die to enemies along the way, or die. I finally got to Bloodwing after being a bad boy doing good things, and it was time to see how cancerous this could be. Like all boss fights this run, I'll tell you straight up that they are really fucking obnoxious. So the only way that we could even come close to this one not sucking some serious fuck is to tackle them with a few tactics. For bloodwing, I just had to keep my pet little skag Daniel alive and hope to God that when I got downed, he was going to be nearby. After a while, bloodwing was dead and it was time to head home and reunite with the boys. But before we could collapse on Jack and teach him a lesson, I needed to save my man Brick. Brick and I Fortnite duoed a bunch of robo-dick and really messed him up big time. With him a part of the squad now, this was going to be a piece of cake. After doing a couple of side quests, and when I say couple, I mean a lot of side quests, it was time to kill Jack's body double. I did my usual Senza special and popped Jackie Poo with a little quickie scopey, grabbed his pocket watch, and captured some of his voice recordings so I could hit up Bunker. With preparations complete, I was ready to take down Bunker, and this time, I was more than prepared. Okay, time to take a little detour. Please buckle your seatbelts because our next stop is the badass crater of badassitude. The whole point of this stop was to hit the bar and pound some drunk dudes and gain some XP. I made my way there, killed my way through a tournament, and got to pounding at the bar. And no you negative Nathaniels out there. Senza doesn't drink, so we're not pounding buds. I'm talking literally obliterating some assholes for XP with my white weapons and 0 skill points. I made my way back to Bunker after hitting the gym, and here I was. This part was more troublesome than I thought. The enemies scaled in level with me, and my shield was still straight up poo-poo diarrhea. After 30 minutes of being sodomized, all I had to do was run past this area and get to the door, which should already be open. Oh, come on, man. Please. What the fuck? Eventually, after having to take my time to kill all the enemies, I made it through. Bunker was here, and boys, let me tell you, I was not ready for the journey I was about to go on. Fighting Bunker with white gear and 0 skill or action points is equivalent to trying to speedrun getting bullied in grade school by putting on a Naruto headband and running around the hallways shouting jutsus.
No. Oh my god, how did I not die? Oh my god. No. Holy shit, I'm so fucking lucky. If I actually would have died right there, I would have ripped off my penis and put it in my earlobes. Holy fuck. He's so close.
After literally an hour of fighting Bunker, I finally beat her with 0 skill points and only white gear. But let's not let this victory distract us from the fact that Mr. Krabs sold SpongeBob's soul for 10 cents. Come on, guys. During that Bunker fight, this white sniper literally did nothing, and I don't think I'm ready for what's to come with the warrior. I couldn't wait to give Jack the beatdown dicking he deserved. I made my way to Eridium Blight, witnessed a bridge malfunction, and then had to go fix it. Every run I do of Borderlands, this part is always a giant pain in the booty hole. I made it to the rooftop and got my ass completely handed to me. I took my time though, sniping those bad boys, but sometimes it was to no avail. I fucking hate this game. After getting what I needed on top of that hellhole, it was time to repair that bridge and head off on my way to track down Captain Jack. But first, it wouldn't be a typical Borderlands run if I didn't go off and do a couple of side quests. Yeah.
Whoa, I love side quests, yeah!
After farming and getting that good stuff done, I blew open a pipeline and made my way into Jack's compound. It was time to find his whereabouts. Again, I met with Saturn, but this time I actually fought her. To keep this video interesting for you guys, I made it to Jack's computer Metal Gear Solid style and sat in the room as I waited for it to process. I can tell you now, if I put a watermelon in between my butt cheeks at this very moment, I could have easily smashed it with the sheer force and sucked up any debris right into my butthole. That's how hard the clench was on my booty cheeks during this moment. With Jack's location now in my sights and a new arsenal at my disposal, it was time to finish up this run. I have made it this far, and although it truly hurt seeing those skill points in the corner of my screen, I knew that this was going to be a home run. The final mission was here. Claptrap was useful for once and got the door open as I attempted to defend him, and I was finally in. I slowly pushed my way forward, killing everything I could. My only plan here was to take it slow and make sure everyone died so I could soak up as much XP as possible. Brick and Mordecai assisted with the booty blasting, and I was more than excited to finally get this shit done. After killing the constructor, I was relieved and ready to finish this off. I got to Jack and was honestly decently surprised with how easy it was to kill him. I mean, it took a couple of tries, but eventually I was able to do it with a few big brain plays. It was finally time for the true test of strength of my quickscoping skills. Could I do this? Am I a cool guy? Do my subscribers actually enjoy my content? Probably not. The warrior was honestly worse than Bunker. The tactic during this fight was to hide behind pillars and try to quickscope her as much as I could. It was a good strategy, but god damn, it took way too damn long. But eventually my hard work paid off and this puny little white sniper did it, and my pussy put that warrior to sleep. I actually beat Borderlands 2 with white gear and 0 skill points. The pain and suffering was finally over. That was it, boys. You can beat Borderlands 2 with only white gear and 0 skill points. I mean, yeah, if you tried it, you would probably want to stick your wee-wee in a blender full of pesto, but it is possible, and I answered this question here so you guys didn't have to. If you haven't already, I want you to quick scope that like button, and if you like what I do here, maybe even do a 360 no scope on that sub button. Follow me on my socials if you haven't already, and thank you guys so much for coming out and watching. You donkle daddies with the support recently have been absolutely amazing. Borderlands 3 is coming up, and I can't wait to make some sexy videos on that little bad boy. A Fallout 4 video will be out in a couple days, so don't you worry, you damn cuties. Stay tuned for the next chapter in the Senza lore. Can you neglect your responsibility until your life is far from where you want it and you're contemplating taking the easy way out?